Yes, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, profitable investing with technical analysis. Well, I wanted to give you an update on the S&P 500, and then I'll follow that with some brief comments on the current buy recommendations that I have. Um, on the S&P 500, I'm going from bearish to neutral. While I still think there's probably a good chance of another down day or so, it's been a good this pony's been a good ride, and you're never going to get the final down tick. I still think there's more to come, but there's the potential. When you're in bear markets, the counter trend rallies during the bigger decline. Nothing goes in a straight line, so you have some up moves too, and they can be quite dynamic. And I don't want to get caught in one of those. So I'm going to go neutral. And if we get some sort of a nice rally, I'll be looking to short into that. So let's get into it. First of all, I was through the 87 crash, the 2000 crash, the 2007. Um, and so I've traded bear markets and done pretty well with that. And they move very, very fast. That's the difference between bull markets and bear markets, or one of them. So let's just get into this. So this is the weekly chart. So this goes back to 2022. Here was our bullish channel. Here's where we were overbought. And I kept saying, we're overbought here, we're overbought. We had a negative divergence as we hit all these higher highs. We got lower highs on our relative strength index, suggesting the underlying internals were weakening. The market was drifting higher, but with less participants. And that flashes a caution sign, beware a change of trend. So um, this is what's changed. This is one of the things that's changing me to short-term neutral, is that we're getting a confluence of moving averages all coming together here. And Tom McClellan, who was the first one I heard with this, talks about rainbow convergences, or just moving average convergences. And since prices are down below that, where this would be a bearish rainbow convergence. So when these lines touch, like they're basically touching now, two things can happen. Prices can sit here until the moving averages come down to the price, at which time we see if price can get above those moving averages, which would be bullish. Type 2 convergence is prices will retrace back to that cluster of moving averages, which is kind of what I'm looking for at some point here this week, given all the bearishness out there, and every retail investor and their brother is trying to short the market now, which it's got to go down. It's got to go down. Well, nothing goes in a straight line, and that's why people don't get it right. So if we get a type 2 convergence, this could come all the way back up to like 5,600 or so and try to test this convergence. And then if it fails, that would be an ideal place to get short again. And so we're getting a little bit oversold, and the rubber band's getting stretched, and the sentiment is really, really bearish. And, you know, um, there's a great book called Irrational Exuberance, and it talks about positive and negative feedback loops and how it sucks people in. And so, anyway, this is what I'm looking at. Uh, and so let's take a look at the daily chart. This is 3 years. Let's just take a look at uh, 6 months. So, here's where we got bearish. We had a 6,100 stop. Here's where we got neutral the last time. The prices popped up here, and we went bearish again. And now we've had a nice big downdraft. Um, and I'm just going to go neutral here. For a short time, we'll see. We got a gap here. Maybe we fill that gap. Maybe we go all the way back to that rainbow convergence. I don't know. I take one day at a time. Um, so, when I count this thing, it doesn't look like we got five waves down here from the last peak. That's the Elliott wave theory, which believes trends are cycles. Once you're in a bearish trend, you're going to see five waves down and three wave corrective uh, rallies like we had here, A, B, C. So when I look at this, I think we got a one, two, three. So, we could get a fourth wave. Usually you have the rule of alternation, which since this was an uptick, this could be something like a triangle or something. But again, we could have that big explosive rally too with short covering where we go back and test that rainbow convergence. So I'm just, I'd like to go bullish actually at some point, but I don't have any uh, huge bullish hammer or something, to give me confidence that there's really buyers underneath this market. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing right now. And let's take a look at, so this is the intraday. So this chart was 6 months, the daily chart. Each one of these bars represents a day. This is what is it, a month, a little over a month chart. This is intraday. Each one of these bars lasts 2 hours. And so here you got one, two, three, looks like we're starting a fourth here, you know. But again, we could just do a triangle, which would be horizontal. And, we came down and hit this low, and we got a lower low on our RSI, kind of confirming that low, saying there's a lot of selling intensity going on here. So, this would alleviate a triangle would alleviate that oversold condition. And then maybe we hit a lower low with our fifth wave down and we got a higher low on our RSI. That would probably be a time that I'd want to be a little more bullish. But I did. Oh, one more thing on the S&P 500. Here's the VIX. Put this in context. We hit 60 today. Um, how many times have we been up here? 2020, 2008. We weren't even up there in 2000. Now, what causes a lot of this is that people have to have protection because they're so leveraged. They're on margin. Banks are on margin. Governments are on margin because they're trying to make more money. And so, this is a pretty high. People are really looking for some protection here. So again, that's a contrarian indicator to me that people are really fearful right now. So I'm going to just step off that. Okay, so that's my outlook on the stock market. I use the S&P 500 because it's a broad index. Here's China. I just sent out an update. I've gone from neutral back to bullish in 2 days. So we had about a 9% decline from the time I went neutral to today. And I'm going to go bullish because, we're right on our support line here. And, you can look, I'll try to attach that update to this video in case you want to look at it, or you can go to the to my channel and it just posted, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. So I'm back bullish on China. It has a rainbow convergence too on the daily chart, very similar to our market. Here's EXCELON. So this is the stuff I was doing today. I was buying a little China. I was buying a little EXCELON. We had the shooting star last week, but it looks like we have a small bullish hammer. So I just bought a little bit here. If we have a couple up days, this is a weekly chart. Each one of these bars represents a week. So this isn't done yet. And, I, utilities are normally less volatile than a lot of other equities. I was buying some treasuries. IEF was down over 1% today. It gave me a chance to buy that. I bought across the board actually. I bought TLT, the 20-year. I bought IEI, the 5-year. I didn't buy 2 years. And here's Antero Resources. I bought a little bit in the morning. It was down and it ended up 2%. It's got to break through 36 here. So I just bought a tad because we're right by our stop. And if I'm going to get stopped out, a small amount of stock here isn't going to matter. But if prices go back and go, this is really based on natural gas. We got a lot of upside here. So again, I'm just nibbling at these in a market that's so volatile. PPLT, it actually broke 85 today. I didn't update this. I'm sorry. I'm not stopped out. I'm going to go with this. I know I could get a lot more weakness. I think it could go down to 80, but I have a small amount in this. So anyway, and T-bills, where do you put your cash? T-bill, the ETF, pays over 4%, gives you a dividend monthly. And anyway, I'm not piling money into this now. I'm actually going to, take some out at some point in time to try to participate in the equity market. So thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Thank you. Have a great evening. Good trading tomorrow.